Our story of Part 3 begins. After you kill your general, your character you're playing as the main character. From Part 1, you and your captain are rescued by the environment from Part 1. You are brought to a warehouse in India with your captain and recover. You now play as another U.S. Marine who are taking power in the Battle of New York. You guys go underwater by somewhere. And you guys getting put mines on the summer rain and launch missiles that the submarine fleet. The main character from Part 1, the captain, and the group are now international criminals. Their general has become a hero in America. The enemy invasion of America failed. Things are peaceful for a few weeks. You are now playing as another United Kingdom soldier. You and the main character from the first game and the captain go to Africa. You see the cargo you're looking for is gone, and you see a helicopter taking it away. It goes up through France and into England. The French government tell the English government. You are playing as the UK group special group in England. You are told to go look for the cargo freight. You look in a truck and see it's not there. You see then and find out that it is somewhere else, but it's a trick, and instead a gas attack happens in London. The main villain from Part 2 is responsible for these attacks, gas attacks happening across Europe. You find out that he's responsible for it. After the gas attacks, you play again as the U.S. Marine. And you go to Handbug. You go to rescue the Vice President of America. It was also the enemy could have a ground invasion across Europe. The gas attacks, you go to the person our Lord in Africa doesn't charge of a country. You convince him to tell you who am got him the gas, and who did he give it to. He tells you he got it to the main villain. And he governed to someone else. Your captain killed him. You guys go to assassinate the main villain. The main character from Part 1 tells the captain to get out the area where he's at it explored. The main villain talks to you on the radio. The part where you were explored, but the character from Part 1, the main character pushes you out. First, you skyscraper with the main character from Part 1. He gets crushed by debris and survived you too, and your god to safety. And you go to a warehouse near the area. The captain freaks out. He tries to help the main character from Part 1 to recover, but sadly the main character from Part 1 dies. And also drawing the assassination attempt before the area that you were in exploded. The main villain called you old friend. The captain is furious about desert hell and asks you how did you walk with him and why do you know him. He tries to kill you, but he spares you for now. He tells them that he was there when they tried to assassinate the main villain from Part 1. He and the main villain drove him away to safety. He also told him that he was still. And the main villain from Part 2 was governed the order to detonate the nuclear bomb. He watched him. The main villain and him were there two witnesses. But he didn't want to do it, so the main villain from Part 2 turned around and tried to kill him. And left them in the basement for dead. But you tried to stop the attack in the airport and pass out. You sneak into an enemy base and find the main villain from Part 2. His location. You play as the captain in the final level. You make your way up to the top of the hotel. Where he's at, you see the main villain getting away in a helicopter. You jump into the helicopter and knock out the pilots. The character you played as the United Kingdom character soldier you played as dies. You as the captain managed to kill the main villain once. And for all from Part 2, you finally killed the villain from Part 2. You smash to the ceiling roof with him that's metal a glass. And you have them hunger by the neck rope. Beaches missing from the story of drawing a mission. You play as a person protecting the enemy present and going to meet peace talks when they are. But the plan crashes. And you see the main villain behind the door in a helicopter. When you try to get away, kidnaps the president's daughter. And also you go to a diamond mine. As the US forces with the criminal give up that you played as at the beginning of our tree. You guys rescue the president's daughter. But the US forces have to stay behind and sacrifice themselves. Remember, this all happened in the video game too. It did never happen in real life. These were all fictional characters. It was from a video game series.